Amazon has slashed the cost of its Go cashierless store technology by 96% since 2017. This is an insider story. Let me tell you what this means. This means if the cost was $1 million to run this store, now it's only $40,000. That's what this means.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean prices went down. It means the overhead of running this place went from $1 million to 40 grand. So Amazon has radically reduced the cost of its just walkout cashierless store technology, a testament to the company's ability to turn long-term experimental projects into more affordable business offerings. Amazon estimates the operating cost for technology behind a 1,000 square foot Go cashierless store has dropped $159,000 a store this year. That's a 96.4% decline from $4 million a year in 2017.
Yep.
A month before it opened the first location, even more savings are forecasted by the end of 2023. The cost includes payments for using Amazon Web Services, cloud technology, and hiring remote employees who manually verify the accuracy of checkouts and stores, amongst other tasks. Amazon debuted its Go cashierless store in 2016, creating a convenience store where customers could purchase items through an app without having to go through a checkout aisle. So the consequences of you sitting on the sideline is companies who are innovative, who don't sit around and say, I kind of got to figure this part out. So this is where this takes me. This is where it takes me. It takes me to a couple different places. I want to share my thoughts on this, and I want to hear your thoughts and rebuttal on this. This is where this takes me. Number one. So the first part is where, the whole orange stuff, the guy doesn't want to wear the vest. Yeah, that's probably 1% of the population. Whatever.
There's 4.4 million job
I get
hopping.
that. But the same way this guy's talking about 10% of it is crypto. Only America's investors are 7% is crypto community. So out of that 7% of crypto community, what percentage that made a lot of money? Maybe some of them got in late. So it's like 2-3% that vest, let's just say 1 or 2%. Fine. Here's the part I think about. Okay, and this is going to sound a little weird, but what the hell is the purpose of us being alive and living? Like, what are we supposed to do? Are we just supposed to sit around, collect a check from the government, and play video games and smoke weed? Are we just supposed to stay home, assume the government's going to send me a check, and I'm going to have kids with my wife, and we stay home and watch Netflix all day long while they pay me $5 grand a month? And that is my life. Like, do you really not think eventually at some point when you're watching these inspirational, aspirational movies like Pursuit of Happiness, like Gladiator, like, any of these movies you can Lean on Me, you sit there and say, what the hell is my purpose? Is my purpose to have somebody give me free money on a monthly basis so it can steal my dreams away? Or do I want to do something big with my life? So maybe my legacy is not going to be worldwide like an Elon Musk or a president or a billionaire or an athlete or a Hollywood celebrity, but maybe my legacy is going to be regional. Maybe it's going to be statewide. Maybe it's going to be a local community. I was a star that came out of my city and I started a business and we have 200 employees. Or maybe I'm just going to be that cousin that did something special in our family and I inspired my nephews and niece to want to do something big as well. I'm proud of that. It doesn't matter what it is. Maybe you're the first kid out of your family that got a degree. Maybe you're the first kid out of your family that became a doctor. Maybe you're the first kid out of your family that came out and started a business, raised healthy kids. They did good. They became good citizens. At the end of the day, this whole thing about UBI to me is, listen, the technology, innovative, creative people, they're not going to wait on you to complain. You can complain all you want. They will gradually sit there and say, you know what? Machines don't complain. They produce.
Yep.
And why am I not going to just keep producing machines? So then if I'm a 22, 28-year-old, 32-year-old person right now sitting there listening to this, I'm kind of like, yesterday Robert asked me a question about what would you do in today's economy. I said, everything I'm looking at is finding a way to be irreplaceable. What does irreplaceable mean? What can I do to be irreplaceable? What kind of value do I bring to the marketplace? What kind of context do I bring to the marketplace? What skill sets do I need today that's going to be valuable 18 months from now, 36 months from now, 5 years from now? Am I a good leader? Am I good at working with people? Am I good at solving issues? Am I compatible? Do I get along with people? Am I a good negotiator? Do I build good leaders? What is my value? So if you ain't thinking about producing your own type of value today in the marketplace, you're probably going to be replaced by a machine and a robot. Yep. And this whole UBI concept that people think it's a good idea, all it's doing is stealing your purpose away from life. And what a waste of a life. Ain't nobody want that.
And there's no dignity. There's no integrity.
None.
No. You have no values you can pass down to your children. Why have kids?
Why do we watch inspirational movies, though? Why do we watch great movies? What happens at the end of the movie when you and I watch a movie that just? Why do you watch Rocky? For why do you watch these movies?
Because you want to be the underdog who comes back and wins.
That's it. That's like in our DNA.
It
is to be somebody. We all want to be somebody. And this free money steals that away from people.
I mean, George Washington look, our founding fathers are spinning in their graves. They fought for freedom. They fought for liberty. They fought for a population that could have a purpose. There have been countless American boys who've paid with their lives, and women who've paid with their lives for this.
Yeah, I don't know. And listen, but here's the part. You know how they say the more things change, the more they don't. Like everything.
La plus ça change.
Yeah, the whole thing where it's like, hey, well, let me tell you, this is the end of the world. No, listen. 50 years ago, there was freeloaders. 50 years ago, there was low-income, middle-income. 50 years ago, there was guys that capitalized. 50 years ago, there was criminals. 50 years ago, there was dividers. 50 years ago, there was guys that wanted free money. 50 years ago, there were communists. 50 years ago, there were guys that hated rich people. This ain't changing. The only thing that's changing is the following. Here's the only thing that's changing today. 50 years ago, if my wife and I got into a fight while I'm at work and I have a 30-minute drive when I'm coming home, 50 years ago, I probably didn't have a cell phone to call her and get into a biggest fight and say a word I regret because ends up leading to our marriage, eventually leading into a divorce. 50 years ago, I had 30 minutes to calm down by the time I came home, and I'm like, listen, I'm so sorry. Let's just figure this out. We're good? Okay, we're good. We move on, right? 50 years ago, when shit hit the fan, you didn't hear about it till 14 hours later. 50 years ago, maybe you heard it at news, 8 o'clock at night, but maybe you didn't hear about it on the paper the next day. It took a while. So the reaction was, we were more calm when we reacted. Today's like, what happened? Let me post it. Oh my gosh. So the exaggeration of issues today is so much bigger that we are reacting, and it's making everything
knee-jerk
big.
reaction.
Yeah, so that's the only thing. So that's the only part that people have to be
Things
very
are
careful
happening
with.
so quickly these days that you can't even process it.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.